Hello and welcome to this episode of Scope. I'm Tracy Pa. Papua New Guinea had the privilege of hosting the head of Vatican and the Catholic Church from the 6th to the 9th of September, an event that will go down in the history books of both the country and the Catholic Church. The 3-day visit attracted thousands of Catholic faithful from around the country who converged to the capital city to witness this historic occasion. For the elderly, this could be the last time they got to see the Pope, and for the 87-year-old pontiff, this could also be his last journey to the Asia and Oceania region. But one thing is for sure, he has left a lasting legacy, a story that will be retold by generations to come. The anticipation to receive the head of the Catholic Church and the head of Vatican started building when the announcement was made in April that the Pope has confirmed his apostolic visit to Papua New Guinea. Planning and preparation started immediately with committees formed and the government and church working together to prepare for this visit. Work ramped up and by 6th September the country was ready. With the Pope scheduled to arrive at 6:30 p.m. that day, the streets were lined with the faithful singing, praying and dancing in anticipation of the arrival as the hours ticked down to the estimated arrival time. Touched down a few minutes after 7 on Garuda Airlines, the national airline of Indonesia, following his 3-day apostolic visit to the Muslim nation. Assisted by an amber lift, the Pope made his exit from the plane, stepping out in his wheelchair to a waiting party of government officials, church representatives including the Cardinal John Ribat, the media and the PNGDF Guard of Honor. The Pope was greeted by selected church representatives and government officials who all had the opportunity to have an audience with him. Following the program at the airport, the Pope was driven away under tight security provided by his personal Swiss guards from Vatican as they drove past the waiting faithful who lined the streets with candles, all there to get the glimpse of the 87-year-old pontiff. The Pope had a full day the next day, 7th September. His first visit was the courtesy call to the Governor-General Grand Chief Sir Bob Dadae, followed by a meeting at the APEC House with government representatives, civil society groups, NGOs and church representatives. President of the Kingdom of Tonga and the Prime Minister of Vanuatu were also part of the group. The Pope, who chose to visit PNG despite the negativities, stressed the message of peace, calling for an end to tribal violence which is rife across the islands of Papua New Guinea. He also talked about the importance of harnessing the vast resources in the country, emphasizing the need to consider the needs of local people when distributing the proceeds and employing workers to improve their living conditions. The Governor-General, in expressing the spirit of faith that brought the Pope together with the people of Papua New Guinea, also touched on the cross-cutting gender issues.
Your Holiness, life is a right to human beings as created by God, and we believe it has to be recognized and lived holistically in peace and harmony. I'm very happy of God when He took the roots from the man and created a woman, exemplified the indiscriminate as equal rights of women to be recognized and respected.
Concluding his meet at APEC House, the Pope had time for the weak and marginalized. He visited the Street Children's Ministry and Kalan services at Caritas Technical Secondary School. Ensuring he had an audience with all sectors of the church and government, he also met with the clergy, the catechists and lay people, where he heard firsthand the stories of catechists who serve in the remote parts of the country, keeping the church alive, and from church groups who work with the underprivileged, providing hope and a second chance to life, like Sister Lauren of Mendi Diocese, who works to address sorcery-related violence in the diocese, saving accused women from being killed. Still to come, Valley Hunters redefine Palm Capital Rugby Union. Having a full day listening to the stories of Papua New Guineans, the Pope, adorned in green, presided over the Mass on Sunday, September 8 at the Sejongkai Stadium. The stadium was packed to capacity and estimated 35,000 people in attendance. James Marape, who was scheduled to meet the Pope early on Sunday, missed a meeting due to change of schedule, but utilized the opportunity to attend Mass at the stadium. A normal Catholic Mass, but one that was filled with excitement, joy, and above all, blessings. The music and choir flowed seamlessly, with more than 500 people leading the choir. In his homily, the Pope encouraged people to embrace the gospel and to allow it to guide their path. He also appealed for Christians to reject superstitions, witchcraft and fear, reminding the faithful that such practices lead only to lies and isolation.
Today the Lord also says to you, courage, people of Papua New Guinea, do not be afraid. Open yourselves to the joy of the gospel. Open yourselves to encounter God. Open yourselves to the love of your brothers and sisters. May none of us remain deaf or mute before this invitation.
At the conclusion of the Mass, the Pope boarded the Australian Air Force plane to Vanimo, where he met with the people there. His visit to Vanimo attracted hundreds of people from West Papua, who for the first time crossed the PNG-Indonesia border to witness this historical visit. In admiration of the cultures and landscape there, the Pope told the people, "You are experts in beauty, because you live on this piece of earth that seems the Garden of Eden." He was presented with so many gifts, but one adorned him with a Bird of Paradise feather placed on his head. Despite his age, Sunday was another full day for him, and on Monday morning he joined another 20,000 plus youths at the stadium for the Youth Festival.
Viva Papa Santo! Viva Papa Santo! Viva Papa Santo!
Prime Minister James Marape was again present for this gathering. Acknowledging the beauty and diversity of the people of Papua New Guinea and the Solomon Islands, the Pope emphasized that the language of love, the language of closeness, the language of service is what can unite people in a region in which more than 800 languages are spoken.
Ma voi avete una lingua comune? Pensate bene. Avete una lingua comune?
But think about this well. Do you have a common language?
La lingua del cuore.
The language of the heart.
La lingua dell'amore, la lingua della vicinanza e anche la lingua del servizio.
the language of love, the language of closeness, the language of service.
Young people drew the Pope's attention to social and economic issues that are affecting the country and the youth population in the country.
Another major challenge in Papua New Guinea is poverty. It is said that Papua New Guinea is rich in minerals. Why then is poverty on the rise?
Moved by these words, the Pope encouraged them not to lose hope, but to help one another and to rise again when they fall.
You, the young people, you have to take care of others.
Voi dovete avere l'inquietudine di fare amicizia fra voi.
You have to form friendships among yourselves.
The Pope had an engaging session with the youths on Monday before dashing off to East Timor in an Air Niugini Boeing flight. A week after returning to the Vatican, the Pope in his general audience described how the Church should not be Eurocentric, instead to see the Church outside of Europe, which is more alive. He told the audience he saw in the youths in PNG a new future without tribal violence, without dependencies, without economic or ideological colonialisms, a future of fraternity and care for the wonderful natural environment. The Pope's visit will forever be remembered by those who had the opportunity to participate in it. Many walked hundreds of kilometers just to see him, emphasizing the Gospel of Matthew 16 verse 18, where Jesus gave the keys to St. Peter and told him, "You are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church."
In the history, long life lo mibla mi lo bagat because strong in faith lo mibla na mibla basawe osem this la Pope come. Lo Bible I think make to 16-18 sa to osem Jesus give him kilo Peter na Peter talking Peter osem name please Samin me call him you Peter andap long Peter meaning blame was a rock stone andap long stone ba mi wokim church name na ba brook.
I said yes because there would probably not another time, in a long time, for another Pope to come to Papua New Guinea.
So just the presence of being here and being amongst every other Catholics who are now gathered here and who are awaiting the coming of the Pope Lodis Plahapia, that in itself may bring him hati go antapa.
While the Pope has returned, many are relieved with hearts full of peace, thanksgiving, and blessings.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee.
Participating in the Pepsi Capital Rugby Union competition for over a decade, the Valley Hunters finally broke the curse to win their maiden trophy last month. Their strong win against powerhouse club Krama Usenko Brothers was a testament to their resilience, commitment to the curse, and hard work. They were the deserving winners of the 2024 Cup title. Head coach Frank Genea and club mentor Max Kutal were proud men amongst many on the day. Invested dedication, time, and effort didn't go to waste, a fitting achievement for the club.
Heat of the bleachers of the Bava Park to a lovely Sahibut Mari Stadium and capping off a stellar season at the Santos National Football Stadium, the Valley Hunters have been in every moment until the final whistle in the Premier Division Grand Finale match to wrap up the 2024 Capital Rugby Union season. The leadership of Jedediah Katal on the pitch, coaching masterclass from head coach Frank Genea, motivation from Pacific Rugby Union Will Genea, and discipline and commitment from the players all came into play, resulting in the club's success in the grand final match. The excitement shown by the players after the final whistle was priceless. With the excitement on the face of Genia summed up what winning the competition meant to him and the entire Valley Hunters Rugby Union club. Genia spoke after the grand final on the significance of the win. He said it was a long time coming for the club to get to where it wanted to be.
Yeah, really good feeling, as I said earlier. Just relief for the men, and I'm really happy for them. Look, they worked hard, and I think you saw it tonight. We're playing a really good brand of rugby, and the exciting thing is I think we can get better. So there's a lot of talent here. It's been nurtured in Capital Rugby Union. They're just really happy, really happy.
Long-time club mentor for the Valley Hunters, Max Catal, was one satisfied man. He praised the team's courage in winning the 2024 CRU season.
Well, it was a sweet, sweet bitter. You come all this far and you think maybe it's just going to be like any other years before that. This is totally different. Different mindset, different coach, different players. Instill the mind to play the way we played throughout this year and to culminate it with this game, with this score on this grand final moment, especially with the 7 or 8 times grand finalists. That was a very good effort for us.
Having finished at the bottom of the competition in 2023 Premier Competition, it was a complete U-turn for the club this year. Despite playing their best rugby this season, Valley Hunters were always going to be tested in the finals whether or not they were genuine contenders. They proved their worth when they beat FinCorp University Piggies in the first elimination finals. The Piggies are one of the most successful clubs in the competition. When the Valley Hunters won, they knew they were in for something great, and their confidence grew from there.
We set ourselves a goal to do well this year. It wasn't necessarily to make the grand final. That's just been a bonus. And credit to the men. Good reward for them. So really happy with the season.
They went on to beat Harlequins, another regular in the final scene, to set up a mouth-watering grand final with Kramer Osenko brothers, defending champions of the competition and 8th consecutive year grand finalist. Kenya's men showed heart, fighting for the Maiden Cup title from the first whistle to the last, and came out deserving winners against brothers 29-21 at Santos National Football Stadium. Kenya said the inclusion of his brother Will in helping the playing group contributed a lot in the Premiership glory.
He very rarely gets time off during our season, with his family living in Australia. But whenever he is up here, he tends to try and give back, as much as he can. But in particularly with this year, having a bit more hands-on approach with our club has been, quite invaluable. Whilst a lot of our players are experienced, a lot of our players aren't experienced in finals footy, let alone winning a grand final. So he's obviously done that with the Queensland Reds. He's played in a couple of World Cup finals as well. So bringing that big game experience and advice in terms of how we prepare has been huge.
Kenya thanked supporters and the club's major sponsor in making the year 2024 a success. He hopes the same for 2025. This success story will be used as motivation for the club in the future, a great memory for the club and the playing group. The Pepsi Capital Rugby Union competition started on April 27 at Bava and ran for about 5 months. The finals matches were moved to Sahibut Mari Stadium. The semi-final and Premiership finals were held there for 2 weekends before the grand finale on 22nd September at the Santos National Football Stadium.
And that wraps another edition of Scope. Thanks for your company. Good night.